We're going to run the presentation script, which basically renders turns tables or character sheets for all the characters. And it's just a good way of testing if the character is all set up correctly and, if the animations work on him. The presentation script, we just need to go to Space8, QX, present character. And all we need to do is just select the character folder of the character we want to present. Combiners, Overlord, that'll be enough. And the naming conventions we used before, this is actually what this presentation script picks up. So if everything is named correctly, it will automatically create the sheets for us. Click present. Now this will open up a new lighting file. So with a little bit of lighting information in there and rendering. And it will, on top of that, it will import the character. Okay. So this is the transformation animation. And you can see, oh yeah, it's working good. The weapon is missing, but we can fix that. That transition is a little bit weird. We can fix that. Now there's a lot of empty space here, or empty keyframes. We also need to remove these. I'll show you how to do that later, once this is finished. This is the walk cycle. That looks good. It's a turnaround animation. That also looks good. A vehicle turnaround. This looks slightly odd. Looks like the pivot is in the wrong position. Okay. So let's scale these so they fit in the sheet. Just move them around manually. There's no way for the script to know how big these things are in order for them to fit on the screen. Maybe with a more advanced script it'll be possible, but with the one we have currently, we just have to move these things around by hand. And after we're done, we're going to do a capture still. And if we go into the folder where Overlord lives, you'll see there's a folder called process now. Inside there's a folder called Hasbro. And what this script did is just basically it just captured this texture sheet. And it captured these videos as well. So this is something we send to Hasbro just for them to see what the state of the robot is, or the state of the character. And you can see in the transformation one, if I scroll forward, there's a lot of empty frames here that we can fix. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, before we move on, let's move this slightly to the left because it's off center. And just capture this again. Okay, so let's go into the old form. You can see how the pivot is actually in the center or somewhere in the air. It needs to be in the center of the grid. So to do that, we just need to click Reset Transform on this one. Reset Transform on that one. These seem good. Save the file. And let's go into the animation file as well. And save that. Okay. So remember how we had this issue of the transformation animation just going on for too long? And these empty frames at the end. That normally happens because if we open the graph editor and if we select the character set, you can see how the frame range is until 800, but there's a few keyframes here that don't do anything, but the exporter or the presentation script thinks they actually do contain animation, so we're going to delete those. We don't need them. So that way the timeline only contains the keyframes we need. Okay. The other thing we've noticed is that this transition. Now this is something that Unity doesn't like either, because sometimes when an animation ends here, say on this frame, it actually picks up some of the motion from the next animation if we don't have a clean cut between the different states. So what we need to do is we go to 740, and I'm gonna middle click drag onto, let's say 726. And actually before I do that, because this character set doesn't actually contain all the keyframe information we need, so I'm going to do something different. So I'm going to go to Space Ape, Utilities, Rigging, Create Control Curve Set. So this will automatically detect all the control curves for us. I'll group them in a selection set. I'm going to call this Overlord Curves. Right click and select Set Members. This will select everything we need. All right, so this is all the curves. All right, so let's do the same thing again. We go to this keyframe, middle click drag 726, and then we're going to press S. And this is going to set a key. Well, it might take a little bit of time. We'll set a key for these, and you can see how the curves actually straighten here, and that's exactly what we want. We don't want these transitional curves between the different animations. So we need to do the same thing with the previous animation. Middle click drag 725, press S. And that's straightening the curves as well. So if we transition between the two different animations now, you'll see it stops moving, and then for one frame it snaps to the next position, and then it starts animating again. This clean way of separating the animations makes sure that we have good clean animations in Unity as well. So we need to do the same thing for pretty much all of the animations in here. So let's just do that. Let's see if the transitions are nice and clean. This is clean. Yes. Okay. Time to capture this one more time, the correct skinning. Okay, let's position these manually. All the pivots seems to be in the correct spot right now, so everything is good. Nothing is offset in a weird way. So nudge these around so they will fit in the sheet. Capture still. I think I spotted a little bit of Z-fighting when he was transforming here. Go over here. Oh yes. This kind of bug actually is very, very visible inside Unity. And I wonder if this is just skinning information again that is not correct. No, that's fully correct. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna have some issues here. So let's grab this, or better yet, No. Just need to find which control actually controls the position of that, and we'll have to edit the keys. And graph editor. Let's close the tool settings and the reference editor. And we just need to make sure that these keyframes, actually those are those keyframes. Like, let's see. We need to nudge it on the X slightly. Let's translate X. Let's see, translate X. I wonder, is it the same on this side? No, there's a bit of a translation on here, isn't it? It's not exactly mirrored. It's not exactly symmetrical. Yeah, you can see the distance between these two is different. Alright then. So in this case, we're gonna have to well, let's try this. Move a few keyframes this way. And that will nudge it slightly out. The reason why we're doing this is we just want to make sure that this is not intersecting. It needs to be slightly up. Let's say 0.4. Yeah, around this. So we need to make sure this is happening when it's in tank form. We don't need it around the other time. Yeah, that should be good. Okay. Just make sure that this key is snapping. We don't want a smooth transition, otherwise we'll have some slow, strange movement going on. Okay, so the other thing we need to move it in is translate the Z, I believe. Let's check. Yeah, translate Z. Fortunately, we have keyframes for that already. So we're gonna grab that, nudge it up slightly. Okay. So we shouldn't get any intersecting here. We should do the same thing for that side too. Translate Z. Slightly nudge it up. Okay. Good.